Hey y'all, Mike B. Rolling here. I wanted to go in a little more depth on, I just had that conversation with Corinthian. That's a pretty good old boy. I just met him. I've seen the truck many times, but I've never really, sat and talked with him. He's a pretty cool dude. That was a great conversation. I wish I could have got more of it on camera, but the guy come out and interrupted us and pulled him ahead of like 6 trucks. So we thought we had plenty of time, but evidently we didn't. But we were going really in depth, and that was pretty cool. But definitely do that again sometime. But I wanted to go more in depth on what I was talking about with the gears on the truck, making sure you got the right gears. That gear ratio is everything. You can have all the horsepower in the world, and if you don't have the right gears, I gotta pull ahead here, make sure my trailer clears that barricade. But if you don't have the right gears in your truck, you can have all the horsepower in the world, and you're not gonna be able to pull that good, or you're not gonna get that good of fuel mileage because your engine's not where it's not in that sweet spot. And basically it breaks down to this, the best way I could narrow it down. If you're in the Midwest or pulling a lot of hills, the lowest number you're going to want, if you're looking to buy a truck, the lowest gear you're going to want would be like a 355. You don't want to go much below that. The 336s, 342s, those are West Coast trucks, man. That's flatlands out in the plains, running 80, 90 mile an hour. If that's what you want to do, go with your 342s, your 336s. That'll be fine. But if you're going to be pulling a lot of hills and mountains, I would go 355 minimum. If anything goes wrong with the beast gears, which eventually it will, I've got, I think, 1.2 million miles on there. So sooner or later, the differential is going to go out. When it does, the first sign of any trouble with those gears, and I'm going to change the guts on both rear ends and put 373s in there, or maybe even 390s. Because like I said, I need more power pulling and more efficiency to keep me up in that torque range. Because I'm about 100 RPM off on where I need to be for peak fuel mileage and peak torque. So, but with 336s, if I go from 336s to 355s, that'll raise me up probably about 75 RPM. And I want a full 100. So I'm going to go past the 355s and go to a minimum of 373s. I got to run the numbers. I mean, there's a specific, you count the teeth and the revolutions. There's a formula for it, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But I think the 373s is where I'm headed. But, like I said, I don't want a fast truck. I want a truck that's going to be doing about 1,500 RPM at 65 mile an hour, or I could run 70 mile an hour and be doing 15 and a quarter, and that's right where that N14 is comfortable at that zone. And even pulling heavy, I bet I can get her up to about 5.5 miles to the gallon. Because like I said, right now I'm doing about 4.3 to 4.5, depending on the weather. It's getting warmer now, so everything will start leaning out a little bit, and it'll improve the fuel mileage a little bit, but not a whole hell of a lot. Plus, there's no more fuel treatment in the fuel. That affects your mileage too. There's a lot of variables when you're calculating your fuel mileage. But yeah, the gears. If you want a fast truck, you can go I wouldn't even go 355 if you're wanting to do, like, say you run out of Texas or Oklahoma, or out there. I think they got 80 mile an hour speed limits out there. I haven't been out there in years, but they're cruising out there. You're going to want your 336s or your 342s, But if you're running all over the Midwest, or you're running up and down through the mountains, south to north and on the East Coast, I wouldn't go anything above 355 or below 355. For pulling, I'd do 373s myself. But like I said, you put 373s in your truck, or you buy a truck that has 373s in it, you're not going to outrun the cops, but you're going to pass everybody on the mountains. I mean, they're going to be lugging and chugging, and you're going to grab a gear and just truck. It'll just lock in right there at that peak torque, and 13 speed. That's why hauling steel, you really want a 13 speed. There's a big difference between a 10 speed and a 13 speed. Is basically you take a 10 speed and put a gear on the high side, put a gear in between each one of those gears, so you're not over revving the truck or lugging the truck. There's a gear in between. You're shifting more often, and that makes you pull better, makes it perform better. But that's just it. I wanted to go a little more detail about the gears. We started to hit on the subject, and then we kind of took a dirt road and hung a left and went off in a different direction. But that's what I wanted to throw up there. You all know the deal. Like and subscribe, share, and if you like that conversation with Corinthian, post it in the comments there, because every once in a while I come across a driver here that's knowledgeable, that's got a head on his shoulders and can have an intelligent conversation. I'll do more of those interviews. So let me know if you like that, and talk to y'all later.